Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Uh, a lot of guys have been wondering why we've been so quiet. There's been a lot going on, and I have said in a couple of videos before, and that I will advise you guys on what's up at the shop and the body shop as well. So for those that follow us, you guys have noticed that the body shop has actually been very quiet, and there's a reason for it. So it's not that we haven't been working there, but there's been a lot of operational changes to the shop itself. Uh, I think let's start off for now. Firstly, to our viewers, our subscribers, and our guys that like to comment and always support us, we thank you. We appreciate your support, and we always welcome it, whether good or negative. Let's just go through the shop here quickly, right? And we're gonna let you know on what's happening in the shop here because the restos has been quiet for, but we've been pushing a lot of cars out on your service vehicles, your everyday cars, your wiring cars, and so on like that. So as you can see here, there is a little bit of a change. There is a bit of scenery change to the shop, right? So we've got, for example, firstly we've got the Ratical is back in. So for those that don't know, I don't know if I've mentioned it. The motor was fine, and I'm gonna disclose figures here, which are well, in some terms, if you look at all the figures that's happening, all the power figures that's we're seeing in South Africa, the figures that I'm gonna disclose sound embarrassing, but it's not. It's actually realistic. So the Ratical IS is back. What we done was we had to take motor and box back out. So the car, after conquest, the car was running. We got the car running, but we could never get that motor smooth, and we could never figure out where we were losing or where we were picking up some sort of vibration from. So we took the head off. We used one of our suppliers as I sent the head through to Booty quickly, and he picked up. We didn't pick up anything on the head because you cannot physically see anything on the head. So bottom line is, sorry, we took out motor and box quickly. We took the head off. We sent the head in, right? We opened up the block and everything looks fine there. We basically refreshed the block, even though it's got just under 1,000 on it, but we had to open it up just to try and inspect where we picked up issues. So we opened up. The sub-assembly was all good. That was fine. There was no issues there. Sent the head to Booty just for a second opinion. He also didn't pick up anything until we sent it back to Van der Linde. So this head was built at Van der Linde in 2019. We went for a 292 cam in there. There's a shim rev kit in there. It's been ported and flowed properly. It's a proper head. So we spent quite a bit of bob on the head back in 2019. Anyway, we found pit marks on the cam and three or four valve guides totally loose on it. So the valve guides were gone. So that's where the rumble came in. So it wasn't a misfire that came in from the motor. Another thing is also when we ran the car on the dyno, we couldn't pick up. We got the car to make 88 kilowatts on Buddy Butler's dyno. So yes, 88 kilowatts sounds very low. But if you look at, if anybody knows Buddy's dyno, that is one stingy dyno, right? And we look at the correction factor. The correction factor looks on par on that dyno. So your 2.9s on that dyno should make anywhere between 100 and optimistically 115 kilowatts. We were only making 88 kilowatts. So that's one of the reasons also why we decided to open the motor up and see what's going on. Anyway, we got the head back. We found the issue. Van der Linde sorted the issue out. It is a bullet cam in there, so we had to shave the cam a bit, or they had to do what they had to do on the cam just to get it nice and smooth for us. And then that was the only issues we found on the head. Put the motor back in. I sent the car straight to Booty for him to start the car up and tune on the dyno. So I didn't want to do any mileage whatsoever because the tuning would have been off now. So we're running the 292 cam in it. We bumped the compression back up because before we did run the chromatic gasket in there just to lower the compression and to help us out with the motor pinging. We call it pinging. It's basically almost like detonating or pre-detonation. So just to avoid pinging, we put a chromatic gasket in there, just drop compression so we could run the motor in. Then we basically, now with us building the motor, we took the chromatic out, so the compression is bumped, should be at about 10.9 to 1, 11.0 to 1 with a 292 cam. And I think we're sitting at about 108 kilowatts on the wheels now. and the car is strong. So the motor is still very tight. I drove it back from Buti. I've only managed to put 70 kilowatts on it, and we are just sorting out a couple of nitty gritties on the car, like the seat recliner, the cable snapped on the inside, the wiper motor mechanism. For some reason, the motor stopped working. We're going to open up shortly in the next video. Bottom line is we made 108 kilowatts on a tight motor. We couldn't even do proper power runs on it, and that is very strong. So I'm gonna take the car up on the N1 hopefully next week if everything goes well. Take on a nice cruise all the way just before Bloemfontein. That should be about 300 k's up and another 300 k's back, and get some proper mileage on the car. And that's also, it's the road mileage is better than your everyday mileage. So that's constant driving. I'm able to set it 120 and squeeze it up to 140, 160, 180. I'm not supposed to be saying this on camera for the public roads, but it'll be done safely. And then bring it back down. So you're not going to squeeze, you're not going to drive the motor, you're not going to wring the motor's neck up to get it to 180, which on this car you don't actually need to do. But it's just to open the motor up and let the motor breathe properly and let it run improperly. Again, that's my view on doing it. I've done it since I was young, and I've never broken motors in that sense. But you can't just jump in the car and drive the crap out of it. You've got to do it gently. So that's the Ratical IS. That is done. We're going to do a couple of touch-ups on the paint. We scratched the car at Concourse. We had to jack the car up on to clean the arches, and we jacked up on grass. So the jack slipped, scratched the side skirt. So we're going to sort that out. And it was just that and the oil level sensor that's giving us a headache, of which I'm going to do a video on it once I get it sorted out. Okay, moving further into the shop, we've got this is still my favorite cars, one of my favorite cars, the E28s. So not an M5, it's a 535i. I do believe the car was originally an auto car. So this car has come in for some work. I will do future videos on it, but just to let you guys know quickly on what's happening, it's coming for electrical work. It seems to have an oil leak on the gearbox on the tail housing. It's got suspension work that it needs, and basically other than that, it's a nice complete car. We just want to get all the electronics working, get the cluster working, and get the car roadworthy in that sense. We've got a 333 over here. So this here is, I think this is number 161. What is this here? 169. I'm so confused with the 333s and all the numbers that we got in here. So we've got number 169 in here. Number 169 is a resto car. We're busy. This car is going to get built on the jig. So we've actually got the suspension stuff. I'll just show you guys a photo of it. And we're getting ready to start assembling the suspension. So with new bushers, bearings, the bolts and nuts are done for it already. We've done the pedal boxes as well in the previous video. The heater box is going to get done. That's going to be a separate video for it. Then the brake booster, the master cylinder is done. We are, however, waiting for a wiring harness, so a body wiring harness for this car. We are battling to get that in. Once we get that in, we can actually start full repair on that harness and then get it into the car, and we can actually start assembling the car. And then we've got the shuttle line. We finally got the motor back from the shuttle line. Don't even ask questions there. There was a headache of note. So motor actually got back here today. However, we might start with this car next week Monday and start finishing up because the interior, we got quite far with the interior, but we've basically put the two projects on hold for a bit. Then we've got the brown E3325i, the 4-row there. That car has been put together now, so we're busy putting the gear lever bushes on, the gear linkages on. The car will come down, we'll finish up the front of the car, then she's off for exhaust, and she'll come back for startup. The M3, we picked up an issue on the M3, right? And this is where everything is slowed down. So we put the rear suspension on, we started assembling the interior. That's where I last updated on the vehicle. And then we got ready. We put the motor and box onto the front suspension, and we came and we got ready to assemble the vehicle. Only to find out that the car is skew. So your chassis legs are skew. So it's still a fight back and forth. We've sent the vehicle through to get straightened out. It came back, it is still skew. So we found a chassis straightening place here in Joburg. We only specialize in chassis straightening. So the car is scheduled to go in there, come back here, then it has to go back to the panel shop. get touched up there, and then come back to the shop here, and then we can carry on assembly on the E36 M3. In front of the E28, we've got a car that we found for a customer that is going to be restored from January, February. But this is not just any IS. It is one of the originals, or one of the original 325 IS Evo 2s, but it's an HP2 vehicle. So my knowledge goes that it's an Evo 2, so non-aluminium, black interior in there. It's got no address at the back, obviously, but it's got the 155 kilowatt motor in there. Right, so it's a complete car. It's a driving car, but we're gonna go back down to metal. So this guy's quite nice because I don't see any major filler on it or anything bad. And we are gonna do other videos. We're just talking generally now. I am gonna do another video on it, and we'll go through the vehicle, right? But I've opted on this vehicle here because there's no major rust and no major body filler. We are opting to do a chemical dip on this vehicle. So it's a chemical paint strip dip. Right, it's the first one that we're actually gonna try out because our cars normally get blasted because we normally find the dog of cars. So we find your dogs laying under a tree or in a shed or laying out in the sun, and they rusted galore, and they need a whole lot of body work and panel work, and then we gotta revive them from there. So this is one of the first vehicles that's come into the shop that's a fairly 7 out of 10 vehicle, 7, 8 out of 10 vehicle with regards to its parts in there. Sorry about that. With regards to its parts in there and the condition of the vehicle, right? So yes, it's been through life. It's got 290,000 Ks on it, but it hasn't been abused. It's been used but not abused. So that vehicle is going to get chemical depth. So we're going to do a strap down on it. We'll do a chemical depth after the body shop, and that one there's minimum metal work on it, and she'll get ready for paint. That we are going to start in January. Then on the left, I'll upload a photo of it. We've got a 325i Sport, which is one of the Rosby imports. So it belongs to our customer. This guy's only got 38,000 miles on it. So by far, this is actually with the last E30 325 Pillarless that came in. I told you that's the best car I drove, right? It's the most quiet car, comfortable car, etc. Well, I lied. This car here is by far the best car. So it's quiet. It's still got the stock exhaust on it. It's still got the brackets in the correct places. It's got everything that needs to be there, right? And it's 38,000 miles. 38,000 miles, about 56,000 kilometers on it. So it's a low mileage vehicle, but it is an import vehicle. So it's right-hand drive car, registered in South Africa, but it's 325i Sport. It's not a 325is, right? So that's I still need to do a lot of homework on it. But the basic knowledge that I have on the vehicle is I must actually check the suspension on it and tell you. I'll advise you what suspension it's got on it. But there's no aircon in the car. There's no OBD onboard computer on the car, and it comes with your cloth interior, right? I don't know exactly what the other differences are. I'm not sure if it's 2.5 or 2.7. It should be at 2.5, but we'll go through it, and I'm actually going to do another feature on it on one of your how to repair and maintain your E30s. So that guy is in here as well, and we've got it on the left currently. We are doing 2 gearbox seals on it, so the selector rod seal and the gear coupling seal. We're going to be doing that on the car. We're going to be doing tie rod ends, rack ends on the vehicle, and just a basic service. And she's got a slight water leak. So basically, issues of this car is because of standing. It's age and standing. We'll do a full feature on that as well. Now, let's move over to the body shop. So, in October, we had news because of certain issues at the shop that the owner of the shop, which is a friend of mine and is actually one of our customers, right? And we actually acquired the shop because of getting messed around by people, because of getting messed around, Rashid, because of people getting messed around by painting. And sorry. So our guys that we said that before, right? We paid top dollar bills. I'm talking just on paint work. So there's no stripping allowed. There's no No sandblasting allowed. We didn't sandblast, we didn't strip it, we didn't allow the painter to strip, and we didn't allow him to assemble. We were paying in the regions of 75, 85 grand just for bodies to get done, which is not a problem, which is actually cheap in the industry. Or at that point was the going rate. Now it's actually a bit cheap. But we found issues with body filler like we found on the replica. The Silver Eye is as good as the car looks. There is paint issues on it. This 333 was sprayed by the same guy. There is issues on it. So we're not supposed to be seeing these things on that caliber of paint. So we basically opened up the body shop, which was the shop that I've taken all the videos in and all the vehicles are in. I'm not going to get into detail with it, but things went wrong, things went sour, and in order for us to save the vehicles, not to save the vehicles in there, in order for us to finish up the work that's in there, right, and then also move forward from there, Ratical has chosen to take the place over. So this has all happened in the space of basically 3 weeks. And this was from October to November, right? So 1st of November was the handover. So yes, we've still got the same painter in there, and we've identified a lot of issues from them. And I'm gonna be honest to you guys with regards to the issues. I'm not gonna cover up anything. I'm not gonna hide anything, because we found issues. Like number 6333 is a problem at this point in time. So that guy's actually got to get repainted, right? Yes, all the metal work was done to the T. The prep work, however, I have a problem. I think we have a problem in that, and we need to redo it. So the only way to do it is to blast that car down and start again. So again, we might not blast it because we have done one shade of sandblasting in there. I think if we do a second lot of sandblast on there, we are going to warp the metal. So we might chemical dump that car, which is another 30, 40,000 rand, but it's something that we have to do. Get it back down to metal, re-prep the car, and repaint the car. I'll get into the paint side shortly. So Ratical has been forced, basically, not forced, Ratical has chosen to take over the paint shop with the current guys that's working there. So the current spray painter, the two fabricators, the panel beat in there, and we're adding more stuff onto there, right? But obviously, Ratical is doing it under our standards, and we want to try and maintain the standards or lift the standards up and change on the paint. We want to change on everything that we do just to make sure that everything runs smoother and better. So that has been the whole transition, and we've actually went quiet because we started cleaning up shop, started making a lot of changes there. Obviously, we had to take a lot of parts out of there, a lot of cars out of there that don't belong to us or and stuff like that, and get it out. And we've started now basically on the 1st of November. So the first car that got just a blowover was that cabriolet with which was actually color changed to Brooklyn Grey. That's our first blowover. The next car that we're painting is going to be the red IS that I featured. Not featured, that's actually, we're actually doing a season on. And it's a full resto car, but it's red, and the original color of the car is actually white. So it's going to be a little bit confusing, but we'll get used to that. So going back to that car as well. So the metal work, I think the last update video I done on that vehicle was the metal work on that vehicle, right? So as you can see in the pic here, metal work, everything looked well on the car, but the car was standing on trestles. So it's very hard, if a car's on trestles, it's very hard to judge if the car is skew or straight or whatever it is. So the metal work was done. There wasn't a lot of cutting and welding. It was there's a couple of panels we had to pull out from there, couple of panels we had to straighten up, get a lot of the grinding sorted out, and then prep the car up. Again, we found out that the car was skew on the back right. Having said that, we battled and battled and battled, and that's how we got to finding this alignment center who actually, they only specialize in chassis. So we sent the car over there. They put the car on the chassis machine. So they're using a chassis machine, one chassis machine, just to measure out the vehicle, and then the next chassis machine is now to pull straight. So they put it onto the measurement machine, and we finally found that we were about 63 mils out on the back right of the car. So the car is basically mangled, if you can call it that. It sounds like an ugly word. It sounds like a scary word, but that's what it is. So that could have come either from two things. The car was in the back smash before, and what the guys had done was they put panels on, but they hadn't put it on properly. So this is the aftermath of that we had to battle and see. So bottom line is, another 4 weeks, 6 weeks later, finding the place, getting the cars to them, they managed to sort the car out, get the car straightened out. And what we're currently doing now, and I'll do another video on it, is we're actually doing a full mock-up on the vehicle. So we are putting, your suspension is on, so it's not 5-volt suspension, but it's normal E30 suspension, just to give us reference points. We've put the suspension on. We're busy with the kit coming onto the, we're putting the kit on the body, the front bumper, rear bumper, the front glass, rear glass in. So we're not worried about the side glasses because of the rubber. We've got a lot of tolerances to play with there. We're getting the car lined up first. So the body is now done. The metal work is done. The body prep is almost done. The kit will be lined up. And then from there, once we sign that off, we will take everything back off again and then start the primer prep procedure. Right? So that's number one. Number two is the white IS. That was a complete car. That was when we went after it came from blasting, when we found a whole lot of surprises on that vehicle. That's the next vehicle in the chain. So I think we're starting on that car by tomorrow or Thursday. We've got 2 fabricators on there. So we're gonna be, there's a whole lot of cutouts on that car. We've got to basically cut that car up and repanel that car properly because everything is put onto that car skew or welded skew, right? And the welding is up to crap, it's up to nonsense. So that is gonna get done next. Then we've got number six 333. I'm just putting on the back burner for now. We will get to that vehicle. We've got another 333, Aero Silver 333 in there. Yes, the car is painted. It got painted, but the paint is not good. So again, this is part of the issues that we picked up with the previous manager there. The car's got to get repainted. So we're going to get that done as well. Then we've got another white IS that it's actually a project car that we're building up. That car is going to get done. And then we've got the white IS that's supposed to be restored. That car is actually at the body shop now, so we're doing the boot area of that car. We've taken all the kit, or we've taken the kit off, and I'll show you. Can see in the picture here above that we've taken all the Sika flex off. So what we have actually got to do now is go and refill all the holes for your side clips, right? So for the panel clips, for the kit clips, we've got to refill all of those guys. Once we refill them, we've got to remeasure them out and re-drill them to the size for the clips itself. So that is getting done. What we have found now, we've sent the car through on Monday. Today's Tuesday. We have found rust that's been covered up in the boot area. So we've got to start prepping that up and sorting that out. We've also got another Calypso red car that's come in. Has been painted somewhere else. The car's not actually Calypso, it's purple. So we're gonna do a full color change on that, but we're not just doing a color change. The car's gonna come here first, take motor box out, strip out the whole engine bay, so we can do a proper color change on the vehicle. So there's a lot of stuff being done, and we've got another Chevy Bucky that's in as well. So not a Chevy Bucky, it's a Ford F100. So it's, I don't have the correct year model. That is going to get done, but that's a full resto by itself. So we're only going to start that in January, February. But that's actually something nice to do. It's a full resto and custom. So we're going to call it a custom, a resto mod. We're going to get into that vehicle there. Then we've got the Zendika. There's a plan change on the Zendika as well. So we've got the S54 currently in there with the SMG box. It looks like the S54 is going to come out, and we've got an Alpina motor for it. So I'll get more information regarding the Alpina motor, but it's from one of the E36s or E46s. It is an original Alpina motor, and that's going to be put into that vehicle there, right? So we are changing the recipe there. We're changing around, but the car is currently at SSR, which is Powerflow Randburg. They have gone through a name change. We've done the exhaust, unfortunately, on there already, so we'll take that out and reshuffle the exhaust up for the Alpina motor, and it's gone for a roll cage. Then we've got the Brooklyn Grey Power. That is finally done in paint. It's off to Pretoria, to AutoZone Gazinia, Abdul. So Abdul is going to be tackling the custom sound install for us. He's going to be doing the custom roof for us, and he might as well do the interior because the car is there. And the customer actually asked for him to do the interior as well. Then we've got another white Power that we're busy with. That car's gonna have to get painted, so that's going off to the body shop, getting painted. And then we've got another spin car that we're busy with as well. So I will do another feature on the panel shop tomorrow, right? But it's been busy, guys. It's been full out busy, but it's also busy sorting out a lot of other people's crap. And unfortunately, it comes with the territory, and we've got to do it. The red IS motor is coming back as well. The red IS motor is coming back as well. The white IS motor is coming back. The Shadow Lines motor is back as well. So we're gonna be assembling quite a bit, and we're gonna try and get a lot of work done before we close in December. But just be patient with us. Stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy what you see so far. Guys, again, like, subscribe, share. You guys know what to do. And let me keep you up to date with the rest of the builds and with some of the rest of episodes. Cheers, guys. Enjoy.